They said his species could not cry. The Zerathi were warriors forged in the furnaces of endless conquest, their biology stripped of tears, their hearts bound in iron discipline. To them, emotion was weakness. Empathy was disease. And yet, history records the day one of their own, Xylos, stood before humanity, and for the first time in his people's long history, wept. Xylos was bred for war. On his world, hatchlings were tested with fire before they could even walk. Their training was merciless, their victories expected. In the galactic arena, the Zerathi were feared not for their size or weapons, but for their absolute lack of hesitation. They did not mourn their dead. They did not comfort their wounded. They fought until nothing remained to resist. So when Xylos was sent to Earth as part of a reluctant diplomatic exchange, he came with contempt. Humanity was fragile, he believed, a race too soft to matter. What could a species that sang songs and told bedtime stories possibly teach the heirs of conquest? At first his opinion seemed justified. Humans laughed too much, asked too many questions, wasted time on things that had no tactical value. They painted, danced, and spoke of empathy as if it were a weapon. To Xylos, it was noise, until the day he saw a child fall. It happened in a crowded square in New Geneva. A little girl tripped on the stone steps, skinning her knees. She cried out, raw, loud, unashamed. To Xylos, it was weakness exposed. But then something stranger happened. Every human nearby turned. Strangers, bound by nothing but the sound of pain, rushed to her side. A mother bent low. A passerby offered a handkerchief. A man carrying groceries stopped and set them down just to comfort her. The girl's pain was halved by their presence, her sobs softened by their care. Xylos could not understand it. On his world, a child would have been left to rise or perish alone. Here, weakness summoned not scorn, but protection. The confusion grew over months. He saw humans mourn their dead, holding each other through nights of grief. He saw them cheer for strangers, celebrate victories not their own. He saw them sacrifice food, shelter, even safety for those they barely knew. To Xylos, it was madness. Yet to humanity, it was life. The breaking point came during the Helios disaster. A mining colony exploded, trapping hundreds in the rubble. Rescue teams worked day and night, many dying in the effort. Xylos, caught in the collapse, expected to be abandoned, just as his own people would have done. But humans dug him out. Bruised, coughing, barely alive, he looked up to see a woman pulling him free with bleeding hands. She smiled through her pain and said, "You're safe now." Safe. No Zerathi had ever spoken that word to him. That night, something broke open inside him. He replayed every moment, the girl in the square, the mourners, the laughter, the sacrifice, and he realized the truth. What he had dismissed as weakness was strength. What he had scorned as fragility was survival. Humanity did not conquer by blade or claw. They conquered by caring, by standing together in ways no logic could model, no empire could crush. And so, for the first time in his people's long and merciless history, Xylos wept. Tears he had never known he could shed poured down his scarred face. He cried not for pain, but for revelation, for the realization that empathy, the very thing his people had feared, was the most powerful weapon in the universe. When news spread, the galaxy was shaken. The Zerathi, the warriors of iron hearts, now had one among them who cried, who spoke of humanity's strange and dangerous gift. Xylos returned home not as a soldier, but as a prophet. He told his people what he had seen, that tears were not weakness, that empathy was not disease, that a single human hug could achieve what 1,000 wars could not. And though many scoffed, many listened, because history is not changed by armies, it is changed by moments. And one alien's tears, born from humanity's example, became the first crack in an empire of cruelty. The alien who cried, Xylos, who wept because of humanity. And in those tears, the galaxy learned that sometimes the strongest hearts are the ones that break.